The franchise has never been short of drama, but this season's spotlight on Erica and Scrappy has shaken even the most seasoned fans. What began as a subtle undercurrent of tension quickly swelled into a wave of suspicion, confrontation, and heartbreak, leaving audiences stunned. Viewers who once rooted for their chemistry are now glued to the unraveling, wondering how two people who seemed destined for each other could spiral so sharply on camera. From the very first episode, producers framed their storyline as a ticking time bomb. Erica's side-eye glances, Scrappy's restless body language, and the silence between their playful banter painted a picture that something was about to crack. Fans on Twitter and Instagram immediately latched onto the smallest signs: lip curls, awkward pauses, clipped tones, as proof that the relationship was teetering on the edge. The intrigue only deepened as group events became battlegrounds. What was supposed to be casual dinners or playful outings transformed into moments of simmering hostility. Castmates exchanged knowing looks, whispering to each other while trying not to take sides. Every shift in energy became a highlight clip, replayed by blogs and fan pages that thrive on dissecting drama. By mid-season, the tone had shifted from curiosity to alarm. Erica's tears, captured in private confessionals, contrasted sharply with Scrappy's laughter in public settings, leaving fans split between sympathy and suspicion. Were they watching the collapse of a love story or the exposure of a facade? As cameras captured the crumbling foundation, fans realized this wasn't just another subplot. This was raw, unfiltered, and messy. Exactly the kind of chaos that keeps reality television alive. The hook was set. Erica and Scrappy's relationship wasn't just on edge, it was dangling by a thread. Erica and Scrappy's history is legendary within the franchise, a love story defined as much by passion as by volatility. When they first appeared on screen together, fans were immediately drawn to the fiery spark between them. They weren't polished or picture-perfect, but instead raw and relatable, embodying the highs and lows of young love in the spotlight. Their flirtations were electric, their arguments unforgettable, and their chemistry undeniable. In the early seasons, viewers watched them fall in and out of love like clockwork. One episode showcased them as a united front, laughing, cuddling, and making promises about the future. The very next, they'd be at odds, yelling, crying, and airing grievances in front of friends and cameras alike. That unpredictability became their trademark, a cycle of reconciliation and rupture that made them one of reality TV's most talked-about couples. Behind the explosive arguments, however, there were always glimpses of deep affection. Scrappy's protective instincts toward Erica revealed a softer side, while Erica's resilience showed her willingness to endure the turbulence for the sake of love and family. For years, fans debated whether they were toxic or simply misunderstood, a pairing trapped in a loop of passion that bordered on destruction. As time passed, their relationship evolved but never stabilized. Engagement rumors surfaced, only to be dashed by whispers of infidelity or sudden breakups. Each reconciliation brought renewed hope. Each separation brought fresh wounds. Their journey became less about whether they loved each other, because that was never in doubt, and more about whether love alone could sustain them. By the time this season rolled around, the groundwork had already been laid. The audience knew their story was far from simple. Erica and Scrappy weren't just cast members. They were living proof of how love, loyalty, and chaos can intertwine on camera, setting the stage for their latest and possibly most devastating chapter. The unraveling of Erica and Scrappy didn't happen overnight. For those paying attention, the earliest cracks appeared in fleeting expressions and quiet moments that spoke louder than words. On the surface, the couple maintained their familiar rhythm, smiling for cameras, posing together at events, and trading lighthearted jokes. But the smiles didn't always reach their eyes. Erica's laughter often faded too quickly, while Scrappy's gaze seemed distracted, as if his mind was elsewhere. Public outings became uncomfortable viewing. At cast parties, Scrappy would drift toward his friends while Erica sat surrounded by the women, her energy alternating between guarded and restless. When the group toasted to good vibes, Erica's raised glass trembled slightly. Observant fans pointed out how she shifted in her seat whenever Scrappy was the center of attention, as though battling with unspoken worries. Even their body language betrayed the strain. Where there used to be easy touches, hand-holding, lingering hugs, there was now distance. Erica folded her arms when Scrappy tried to joke his way through tense silences, while he leaned back, lips pursed, avoiding direct eye contact. These subtle cues told the real story. Intimacy was slipping away. The tension deepened in small disagreements caught on camera. A casual comment about being too busy to call home sparked a defensive response. A playful joke about finances landed with visible irritation. Castmates exchanged wary glances, sensing trouble brewing beneath the surface. Fans online noticed too. Screenshots of Erica's stern expressions and Scrappy's dismissive shrugs circulated widely, fueling debates. Some argued Erica was overreacting, others insisted Scrappy had emotionally checked out. Either way, the warning signs were impossible to ignore. What once looked like playful bickering now felt like the early stages of a storm. Quiet, but inevitable. The tension boiled over during what was supposed to be a relaxed group outing. Cameras were rolling when Scrappy received a text message that caught Erica's attention. She leaned in, eyes narrowing, asking him about it. His evasive response, shrugging it off as nothing important, ignited a spark that quickly erupted into flames. Within moments, their conversation spiraled. Erica pressed him for clarity, her voice sharp but controlled. Scrappy, visibly irritated, shot back defensively, accusing her of overreacting. The exchange grew louder, drawing the attention of castmates who sat frozen at the table. What began as a private matter unfolded in front of everyone, with no chance of retreat. The tension snapped when Erica raised her voice, demanding transparency. Scrappy slammed his phone on the table, insisting he had nothing to hide. Yet his tone carried more frustration than reassurance, which only fueled Erica's suspicions. The other cast members tried to intervene, some urging calm, others awkwardly sipping their drinks to avoid the fallout. Producers captured every detail. Erica's tear-filled eyes, Scrappy's clenched jaw, and the group's hushed reactions. Even background chatter stopped, replaced by an uncomfortable silence that magnified every word. The fight didn't resolve. It only ended when Erica stormed out, her heels clicking like punctuation marks to her fury. Scrappy stayed behind, shaking his head, muttering under his breath while others attempted to console him. The scene went viral before the episode even aired. Leaked clips circulated on blogs, sparking heated debates online. Fans dissected body language, tone, and even the mysterious text message that started it all. For many, this wasn't just a fight. It was the first undeniable sign that Erica and Scrappy's bond was fracturing in real time. From that night forward, the dynamic of the season shifted. What had been whispers of tension now exploded into front-page drama, cementing this fight as a turning point not just in their relationship, but in the entire show's storyline. The fallout from the explosive fight rippled far beyond the group outing. By the next morning, fan blogs and gossip pages had already clipped the footage, dissecting every raised eyebrow and sharp word. Headlines screamed betrayal, while YouTube commentators uploaded reaction videos within hours, each offering their own breakdown of what really went down between Erica and Scrappy. Social media turned into a battlefield. On Twitter, hashtags like #TeamErica and #FreeScrappy trended simultaneously, reflecting the divide in public opinion. Some fans empathized with Erica, praising her for demanding respect and transparency. Others accused her of nagging and dramatizing, defending Scrappy as a man just trying to maintain his peace. Instagram fan pages fueled the frenzy by posting side-by-side screenshots of Scrappy's dismissive smirk against Erica's tearful glare, inviting followers to choose sides. Fan theories flourished. Some insisted the mysterious text hinted at deeper betrayal, possibly infidelity, while others argued it was staged for ratings. A handful of blogs claimed insider knowledge, leaking unverified details about Scrappy's late-night outings and Erica's quiet frustrations, leading up to the blow-up. The fight didn't just polarize the fan base, it reignited. Conversations about toxic cycles, public relationships, and the toll of reality TV exposure. Erica and Scrappy weren't just living their story anymore. They had become a case study, their private conflict fueling public entertainment. The storm had only begun, and both sides found themselves under an unforgiving spotlight. In the quiet of her confessional, away from the noise of cameras and castmates, Erica finally let her guard down. Her voice trembled as she spoke about the constant exhaustion of loving someone who seemed to slip through her fingers. She admitted the fight wasn't just about a text message, it was about years of doubt, neglect, and unhealed wounds that never stopped resurfacing. Her eyes glistened as she described feeling unseen, her loyalty questioned while she remained steadfast in the relationship. "I don't know if he even hears me anymore," she confessed, her words breaking under the weight of disappointment. Erica admitted she was tired of the cycle, the highs of reconciliation followed by the inevitable crash of betrayal. For her, the relationship had become less about partnership and more about survival, holding onto scraps of affection while drowning in unanswered questions. Fans, watching the confessional, saw not just anger, but profound heartbreak. Erica wasn't playing for sympathy. She was confronting the raw reality of a love that demanded more than it gave back. Her tears weren't just for Scrappy. They were for herself. For the years spent hoping loyalty would be enough. The brunch was supposed to be lighthearted, a chance for the cast to gather, sip mimosas, and reset after weeks of drama. Instead, it became the stage for one of the season's most uncomfortable confrontations. Erica arrived guarded but composed, her posture stiff as she greeted the table. Scrappy, on the other hand, slid into his seat with an air of nonchalance, cracking jokes as if nothing had happened. The tension was immediate. Conversations around the table stuttered, castmates glancing nervously between the two, waiting for the inevitable eruption. It didn't take long. When Scrappy dismissed Erica's concerns with a flippant "you always doing the most," her composure cracked. She pushed her plate aside, leaned forward, and demanded accountability in front of everyone. What followed was a raw exchange that made even the most seasoned reality stars shift uncomfortably in their seats. Erica's voice wavered between hurt and rage as she detailed how ignored and disrespected she felt. Scrappy rolled his eyes, muttering under his breath, which only escalated her fury. The group's chatter died into silence, the air thick with discomfort as no one wanted to interfere, but everyone knew the cameras were capturing history. By the time Erica stood, her voice broke completely. She declared she couldn't keep pretending, couldn't keep defending a man who wouldn't defend their relationship. The brunch ended in chaos. Half-finished plates, untouched drinks, and castmates left shaken. For Erica, this wasn't just another fight. It was her breaking point, a moment that shifted her from frustrated partner to woman ready to reclaim her dignity. If the brunch marked Erica's breaking point, the next group scene detonated like a bomb. What began as another tense gathering quickly unraveled into accusations that peeled back layers of betrayal. Fans had only speculated about until then. The moment started subtly. An offhand comment about what really goes down in the DMs. Erica seized on it, her eyes locking on Scrappy as she accused him of entertaining other women behind her back. Gasps rippled across the table as she revealed screenshots she claimed had been sent to her anonymously, messages hinting at late-night conversations and flirty exchanges. Scrappy denied it, his face tight with frustration, insisting the receipts were fake or taken out of context. But Erica didn't stop there. She alluded to secrets the audience hadn't heard before. Nights when Scrappy disappeared without explanation, whispers about hotel meetups, and the skeletons she'd kept quiet to protect their image. The accusations painted a picture darker than anyone expected, transforming a rocky romance into what looked like outright betrayal. Castmates reacted in real time, some gasping, others covering their faces while a few whispered, "Not again." The tension skyrocketed as every eye in the room shifted between Erica's fury and Scrappy's defensive anger. The confrontation wasn't just about loyalty. It was about exposure. The cameras captured a man cornered and a woman done with silence. By the end of the scene, nothing felt safe. The group dynamic fractured, alliances shifted, and fans realized they weren't just watching a breakup. They were witnessing a scandal rooted in betrayal deeper than the cameras had ever shown before. The fallout from the accusations led producers to frame one of the season's most gripping sequences: back-to-back confessionals from Erica and Scrappy. The split-screen editing highlighted the emotional gulf between them. Scrappy, visibly agitated, leaned back in his chair, hands rubbing his temples as he spoke. He insisted he was tired of always being painted as the villain. "No matter what I do, it ain't enough," he said, frustration dripping from every word. He argued that Erica thrived on drama, that she exaggerated small issues until they exploded. For him, the relationship had become suffocating, a cycle of blame where his voice was never heard. In stark contrast, Erica's confessional revealed a woman at her breaking point. Her voice cracked as she described years of feeling dismissed and unloved. She admitted she no longer recognized the man she once trusted with her heart. "I keep fighting for us," she whispered, "but I don't think he's fighting for me." Her despair wasn't just about betrayal. It was about the loneliness of carrying the relationship on her own. Fans reacted passionately online. Some sided with Scrappy, calling him misunderstood and weary of constant conflict. Others flooded timelines with sympathy for Erica, commending her courage to speak openly about pain many women could relate to. The dual confessionals didn't bring clarity, they deepened the divide, setting the stage for even more explosive revelations. Just when fans thought the drama had reached its peak, anonymous claims began surfacing online. Blogs and gossip accounts hinted that what viewers saw on screen was only the tip of the iceberg. According to insiders, Erica and Scrappy's off-camera arguments were darker, louder, and sometimes alarming enough to leave those around them worried. One source described late-night blowups that carried on long after the cameras stopped rolling, with neighbors reportedly hearing shouting matches through the walls. Another claimed Scrappy's absences were more frequent than producers showed, fueling rumors of reckless nights out and questionable company. The whispers suggested the couple's storyline wasn't just reality TV editing. It was reality itself, raw and dangerous. Fans speculated whether producers had downplayed certain fights to avoid crossing into disturbing territory. Others argued that the unfiltered truth was finally spilling out. For many, these revelations reframed the season entirely. What looked like messy arguments for ratings now appeared as warning signs of a relationship teetering toward collapse, perhaps even beyond repair. The danger wasn't just heartbreak, it was escalation. The retreat was pitched as a chance for healing, a serene getaway where the cast could step away from the chaos of city life and reconnect in a calmer setting. But for Erica and Scrappy, the change of scenery only intensified what was already broken. The fire pit circle, meant to be a safe space for honesty, became the stage for one of the season's most unforgettable sequences. Cast members went around, opening up about personal struggles and lessons, their voices low against the crackle of flames. When it came time for Erica and Scrappy, the mood shifted. Erica, her face illuminated by the firelight, admitted she felt hollow inside the relationship. She spoke of sleepless nights, of fighting to keep her dignity while loving a man who made her question her worth. Her words poured out like years of suppressed pain, leaving even the most hardened castmates silent. Some nodded in quiet empathy, others avoided her gaze, visibly uncomfortable with the rawness of her confession. Scrappy, feeling cornered, lashed back. He accused Erica of always painting him as the enemy, of ignoring the ways he had tried to provide and protect. His voice rose, echoing through the retreat grounds, as he demanded recognition for his efforts. The group attempted to mediate, urging them to listen instead of fight, but their efforts fell flat. What should have been a moment of reconciliation dissolved into chaos. Erica wept openly, while Scrappy paced with clenched fists, muttering about betrayal and disrespect. The fire pit became less a circle of healing and more a battlefield of blame. By the end of the night, the cast was fractured. Some rallied to Erica's side, offering comfort. Others whispered about Scrappy's breaking point. The retreat, designed to mend, had only exposed wounds too deep to heal. It was clear to everyone watching, on screen and at home, that this relationship was no longer simply strained. It was broken beyond repair. It was broken beyond repair. The nightclub scandal led producers to film separate confessionals, giving each a chance to process alone. The results were haunting. Scrappy appeared drained, shoulders slumped, eyes clouded with exhaustion. He admitted the constant conflict left him questioning his purpose, confessing, "Sometimes I don't even know if I can keep going like this." His words carried an unspoken heaviness, hinting at thoughts darker than frustration. Erica's segment mirrored that despair. Her voice was low, her face streaked with tears as she revealed nights spent lying awake, wondering if her life would ever feel whole again. She confessed to feeling isolated, invisible even when surrounded by people. "I feel like I'm disappearing," she whispered, a chilling acknowledgement of emotional collapse. These confessionals stripped away the bravado and accusations. What remained were two broken people, drowning in pain, hinting at struggles with hopelessness that struck a chord with fans. It was no longer just drama, it was survival. As the drama escalated, the ripple effects hit home. Children and relatives once shielded from the chaos were inevitably pulled into the fallout. Family dinners that should have been moments of unity instead ended in tears and silence. Erica's mother, visibly weary, urged her to consider whether love was worth so much suffering, while Scrappy's relatives reminded him of his responsibilities as a father and partner. The kids, though not fully understanding the depth of the conflict, sensed the tension. Quiet questions like, "Why are you and Daddy always mad?" pierced deeper than any public scandal. Erica often left the table in tears, while Scrappy withdrew, avoiding eye contact with the people who had once cheered them on. What had been framed as a couple's struggle now became a family crisis. The fights were no longer just about Erica and Scrappy, they were about everyone caught in the crossfire. Relatives debated loyalty, children felt confusion, and every meal risked turning into another emotional battlefield. The once private war had grown too big to contain. The penultimate gathering of the season carried a somber tone. Gone were the sharp exchanges and fiery confrontations. In their place were hushed voices and weary glances. Erica sat apart from Scrappy, her body angled away, as if her very presence was an act of survival. When conversations drifted to love and self-worth, both spoke with startling honesty. Erica admitted she no longer recognized herself in the relationship. She confessed to losing pieces of her identity, chipping away year after year in hopes of keeping them together. Her words weren't shouted, they were whispered, almost fragile, as if speaking them aloud risked breaking her completely. Scrappy, for the first time, softened. He acknowledged he had been distant, distracted, and blind to her cries for support. But instead of reconciliation, his admission sounded like surrender. "I don't know if I know how to love you right," he murmured, his voice carrying the weight of years of unresolved hurt. Castmates looked on, unsure whether to comfort or stay silent. What was clear was that the two weren't just losing each other. They were losing themselves. The gathering wasn't a resolution. It was the quiet mourning of a love slipping away. The season finale opened with a chilling stillness. No music, no quick edits, just Erica and Scrappy seated across from each other in a dimly lit room. The world outside roared with blogs, headlines and fan debates, but in this space, there were only two people clinging to the remnants of a love story. Erica's voice trembled as she admitted she could no longer endure the cycle of hope and heartbreak. "I love you, but I don't trust you. And without that, what do we even have left?" Her words weren't angry. They were drenched in sorrow, carrying the exhaustion of a woman who had fought too long. Scrappy, usually defensive, sat quietly before responding. "I never wanted to hurt you. I thought if I just kept pushing through, we'd be fine. But maybe I kept breaking us instead." His eyes glistened, but he forced a weary smile, masking the ache. Their exchange wasn't explosive, it was haunting. No shouting, no table flips, just silence hanging heavy after each confession. The audience could feel the weight of years collapsing in real time. As Erica stood, pausing at the door, she whispered, "Sometimes love means letting go." Scrappy didn't follow. The cameras lingered on him, alone, staring at nothing, the quiet devastation saying more than words could. Fade to black. The outro framed the season not as mere reality TV, but as a devastating portrait of love tested and broken under the spotlight. The narrator reflected on how Erica and Scrappy's relationship, once the franchise's symbol of resilience, ended not with a bang, but with a quiet unraveling. Clips of earlier joy played in contrast to the finale's sorrow, a reminder of what was lost. Viewers were left with questions. Can trust ever be rebuilt after years of cracks? Does public life inevitably doom private love? And most painfully, was this truly the end, or just another pause in their cycle? The call to action urged fans to share their thoughts online. Was Erica right to walk away? Was Scrappy misunderstood? What lessons can relationships under fame teach us all? The screen faded out, leaving a final lingering question in bold. When love isn't enough, what do you hold on to? Hold on to.